Today we're talking about the silent wealth eraser, something we've all become quite familiar with in the last couple of years.
Right.
Inflation.
It is. You know, as this thing steadily just reduces the value of our dollar over the years, and the big thing that comes to really needs to come into play is when we're going into this retirement time and you got 20, 25 years. That's where costs can double. This is kind of the scary thing. So we got 4 areas we're going to run past. Let's go into the core issues. So retirees are living on a fixed income for the most part, and those are vulnerable to anything that rises in price. So we're typically looking at our groceries, our gas, our utilities, stuff that doesn't stay flat, but many of the retirees' incomes are staying flat. So that can become an issue as we go down the road. What's the hidden impact of this? So even with a modest inflation, we hear inflation oftentimes common is 2 to 3% per year. While that doesn't sound alarming, the downside of that is in that with a 2 to 3% inflation in approximately 20 years, if it took $50,000 now to purchase goods, in about approximately 20 years, it's going to take 100. So that's the time frame that it almost doubles. So that can be a big detriment if you're living on a fixed income and those things are going to double down the road. Those that prepare for it are going to be okay and they're ready prep for vacations and travel and the things they want. But however, if you're not, this is something you really need to pay attention to and head off with early on. What is a smart thing to do? Hop in and visit with an advisor. Talk about taxes, talk about inflation, and talk about risk. You actually really need to view those things because all three play a part in your retirement. And lastly, go into the long-term view of it. It's not really about protecting wealth. The true idea of protecting against inflation is truly protecting your lifestyle and where you are in life. And you don't want to have to lose that and lose the comfortability and have to scale down in retirement unless you want to. So that's just something really to think about because inflation is not something that kind of knocks on the door. It sneaks in, unnoticed, and it really just robs us. So that's really something that's a core issue that a lot of people don't think about, and we really want them to pay attention to it because we had a great run of that in 2020, 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just such a difficult thing to track, right? Because it feels like it changes all the time.
It does, and unfortunately, when the numbers get kind of skewed, what we saw in 2020 and 2021 is Uncle Sam, when they're pulling out energy, they pull healthcare, they pull food costs out of the inflation number. Well, when those skyrocket, and you say, well, inflation is only 3 or 4%. Yeah, but I'm not feeling that at the pump or at the grocery store. I'm feeling worse than that because those are taken out of the equation. So those numbers can get a little muddy when we get told them from Uncle Sam.
Well, I tell you another thing that's been a roller coaster is those temperatures, and let's check on them now. Let's skip.